Welcome to this edition of the Lunch and Learn series from the White House Initiative for Black Americans. This edition will feature the IRS's VITA program. We're so excited to have them here. Before we jump into the main content, we will have a few opening remarks, starting with Yolanda Weaver. Yolanda, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Courtney. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yolanda Weaver, and I am the Chief of National Partnerships within the Stakeholders, Partnerships, Education, and Communication Organization of the IRS. Welcome to the VITA information session hosted by Department of Education in collaboration with IRS-SPEC organization. It is indeed a pleasure to be on this call today with Courtney and her team from the Department of Education and with all the school districts that are represented here today. So the IRS-SPEC organization has partnered with Department of Education for some time now, I want to say for a number of years, promoting the volunteer income tax assistance and tax counseling for the elderly program through outreach efforts. For 2024, my team, the National Partnership Team, expanded our VITA efforts in collaboration with Department of Education to focus on getting more high schools and students to participate in our free tax preparation program. So I am very excited about the partnership with Department of Education, and I look forward to the successful and positive outcome from our partnership with Department of Education. So without further ado, I am going to turn it over to Alexis K. Holmes, Executive Director of the White House Initiative of Advancing Educational Equity, Excellence, and Economic Opportunity for Black Americans. Alexis?
Thank you so much, Yolanda, for those wonderful comments and the introduction. And thank you for saying our entire office name. So now I don't have to. Good afternoon and welcome everyone to another Lunch and Learn. And as Yolanda has stated, we are so excited about this partnership with the Internal Revenue Service. And most importantly, as a complement and on behalf of United States Secretary of Education, Dr. Miguel Cardona. This truly is essential programming and quite a complement to our overall Raise the Bar program. And with Raise the Bar, driving financial education in our schools is a leading priority, and we are so excited once again to be able to partner with the Internal Revenue Service on this amazing volunteer opportunity for our high school students. Again, we welcome you, and we are just so grateful that you are here joining us and getting a taste of all of this amazing information so that we can continue this relationship, continue to promote this very important information in collaboration with our colleagues at the Internal Revenue Service. And so with that, and in the interest of time, I am going to pass it along to our colleague, Tracy, for some additional comments. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Alexis. And we echo those same sentiments about this wonderful partnership that we have. But good day, everyone. I'm Tracy Walker Carter, and I am the Executive Director of Customer Assistance, Relationship, and Education Organization as a part of the Internal Revenue Service. And my organization is a segment of the Taxpayer Service Division, and I bring you greetings on behalf of our Chief Taxpayer Service, Mr. Kenneth Corbin, and our Deputy Chief, Ms. Deatra Grant. Under my leadership, I oversee 3 amazing organizations. Field Assistance, where we have more than 360 taxpayer assistance centers, also known as TAX, in the United States and Puerto Rico, where taxpayers can receive face-to-face assistance after scheduling an appointment and actually walking in. Second, there's media and publication, and it's the critical pre-filing services, including the development of forms, publication, and notices that communicate taxpayer requirements. So basically, anything with ink on it comes out of that shop. And then last but not least is stakeholder partnerships, education and communication, which is also known as SPEC. And SPEC oversees the volunteer efforts in providing assistance and support to more than 72,000 volunteers and more than 9,000 volunteer sites to educate and assist taxpayers with filing their returns at no cost. And those sites are located all across the country. First, I'd like to thank Department of Education for hosting this webinar and providing us with this opportunity to connect with school districts across the country to share information about our volunteer income tax assistance, affectionately known as our VITA program. And I am very excited about our collaboration. Yolanda Weaver is the National Partnerships chief, along with her team. They are working diligently with Courtney and her team at the Department of Education. Now, what are we trying to do? We want to promote tax credits and deductions like refundable credits, like the earned income tax credit, the child tax credit, the lifelong learning credits. We want to promote those. So number one, everyone's aware of them. We want to identify high schools across the country to participate in the VITA program, and we want to promote the VITA services. Now, there are close to, and I think I heard today, 35,000 public and private high schools in the United States. And this includes states that have volunteer and community service as graduation requirements. So what a phenomenal way to meet those goals. Now, other states may have different requirements, such as credits toward graduation through service learning programs. And then some states also allow local districts to determine their own service requirements. This is why getting more high schools involved in VITA has become a vital part of our organization's goal. Through this program, students have the opportunity to gain new skills like interviewing skills, they learn tax law, and then they learn to navigate tax preparation software. They also give back to their local community and build their resume for professional jobs after this opportunity. SPEC has been very fortunate to have high schools across the country to participate in the VITA program. We have students that actually come in and they're certified screeners, they're greeters, they're tax preparers, and they're quality reviewers. We have over 100 high schools that already participate in this program, but we need more. And we need more high school involvement. And we need the help of the school districts across the country to make this a reality for our students and the local communities. Of course, to expand our program to more high schools, we would like for school districts across the country to hear our voice and to share how high schools in your district can make a difference in the lives of many Americans by volunteering for the VITA program. We here at the IRS realize we can't do this alone. Your attendance here with us today solidifies your interest in partnering with us. And for that, we appreciate you for sharing your time with this effort. Here's where you can help. We need your assistance in reaching out to more high schools to encourage faculty and students to join our cause in giving back to their local community. I am confident the partnership developed here today will be a successful one. I look forward to future collaborations with Department of Education and school districts across the country. So thank you again for clearing your schedule to meet with us today. And I'll turn it over to Cynthia.
Thank
Oh,
you.
Yolanda.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you so much. I appreciate you giving me a
Okay.
shout out, and we're
All
going
right.
to go to Yolanda.
I'm having some technical difficulties here. So now we will turn it over to my supervisor to provide the introduction to the Stakeholders Partnership Education and Communication Organization. She is our SPEC director, Gwen Guerin. Gwen?
Well, thank you, Yolanda, and good afternoon, everyone. As Yolanda said, I'm Gwen Guerin, and I'm the director of SPEC. I'll just keep it at that because we've said it a few times already. But I would like to thank all of you for joining us this afternoon and to hear about our organization and how we can collaborate to teach your students about an important aspect of financial literacy and better the lives within their communities by providing and promoting no-cost tax preparation where they live. SPEC is widely known for its oversight of the Voluntary Income Tax Assistance VITA and the tax counseling for the elderly programs, which offer free tax preparation to low and moderate income taxpayers, senior citizens, persons with disability, those with limited English proficiency, and Native Americans. SPEC supports outreach to its taxpayers primarily in the areas of tax law compliance, financial education, and asset building. For our most recent filing season in 2024, our VITA TCE program had more than 72,000 volunteers, and that's what Tracy had recently mentioned. They prepared almost 2.8 million tax returns at over 9,000 VITA TCE sites across the country. In FY24, we did end the year with a 95% accuracy rate for our quality, and over 98% of those returns were e-filed or done electronically. So there was a slide that was on the screen a few minutes ago about the SPEC mission statement. And what that is we assist taxpayers in satisfying their tax responsibilities by building and maintaining partnerships with key stakeholders who seek to create and share value by informing, educating, and communicating with our shared customers. Since SPEC stood up in the year 2000, so quite a long time ago, it developed and leveraged an approach to taxpayer service by placing primary emphasis on partner involvement and relationship management as key elements in achieving our objectives. SPEC's national and local relationship managers provide oversight and guidance to partners and volunteers engaged in free tax preparation and other outreach in our sites throughout the nation. SPEC does deliver this taxpayer service through a three-pronged business model of income tax preparation, educational outreach, and by offering financial education and asset building information to our taxpayers. SPEC provides leverage benefits to millions of taxpayers through national and local partners who deliver most of our programs and services. So now that you know a little bit more about us, I'll turn it back over to Yolanda. I believe.
Hi, Yolanda is the next person to talk. She's
Yeah.
probably having a little technical difficulties at the moment.
Yes, I'm
However,
here, Cynthia.
There
okay.
she is. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
you. So now we will hear from our acting SPEC Area 3 Director and Executive Champion for high schools and for colleges and university. She will be giving the introduction to SPEC's high school and college and university initiative, Rosemary Young.
Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. As Yolanda mentioned, I'm serving as the executive champion for SPEC's high school initiative. I am delighted to serve in this role. I first want to thank you for partnering with us to engage our youth, ensuring that we set them up for success as they mature and move on to make financial decisions. High schools have played an important role in our model for free tax preparation since the early 2000s. And as listed in the invite, let me share a few statistics with you. Currently, SPEC has over 121 high schools in the United States offering VITA services in their communities. Students' participation in VITA program has shown to be very valuable as it provides them with new opportunities and skills. For filing season 2023, high school students prepared more than 14,000 free tax returns, ensuring taxpayers received more than $13 million in tax credits. Over 20 million in refunds were processed by high school students and returned to their communities. This resulted in a savings of an estimated 2 million in tax preparation fees. That is amazing, as this directly impacts members of our underserved. As you can see, the VITA program is making a huge impact on Americans across the country. This includes parents and students. The program not only helps parents get their tax returns filed timely and efficiently, but for high school seniors, it becomes critical for college financial aid and grants. To support financial education and asset building, the VITA program, in collaboration with SPEC partners, work to ensure tax refunds are used to promote financial health. For example, an example would be the ability to open up a checking or a savings account, or investing in a savings bond, or utilizing refunds in addition to grant money as a down payment for first-time home buyers. Regarding our students, mastering tax preparation can significantly impact students' academic career choices. This informs their college major choices, such as accounting, business management, and finance, just to name a few, or by using skills gained to either enter the job market or with their or give them a new competitive edge with that newly achieved skill. So understanding tax preparation equips them with skills necessary to make informed decisions. So I want to thank you for your collaboration in supporting our high school initiative. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Yolanda.
Thank you, Rosemarie, for that beautiful introduction to SPEC's high school, college, and university initiatives. Now we will hear from our SPEC field, and we will hear from our senior tax consultant in Area 2 in the Chicago, Illinois territory, Ivy McElwain. She will give an introduction to the VITA program, which is the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. Ivy?
You're on mute, Ivy.
I apologize for that. Thank you, Yolanda. Good afternoon.
You're welcome.
Again, my name is Ivy McElwain. I absolutely love the work that I do with the VITA program, and I am confident that after this presentation, you will understand why we are so passionate about VITA and why we say that it is a cause and not just a program. Our hope is that you walk away today excited about partnering with us. Our life work here in SPEC, as Gwen already spoke about, is to assist taxpayers in satisfying their tax responsibilities. And we do that by building and maintaining partnerships with folks like you that are key stakeholders that understand and recognize the value of informing, educating, and communicating with our shared customers. Next slide. High schools have the ability to enrich the educational experience of students and staff by introducing VITA services into their schools. Next slide. The SPEC motto emphasizes why we do what we do. Of course, free tax preparation services is our foundation. Providing VITA services protects our community from predatory tax preparers, and it saves taxpayers hundreds of dollars in tax preparation fees. Tax education, which is another piece, ensures our communities are aware of the tax credits and deductions they may be entitled to. The financial education and asset building piece, which we refer to as FIAB, is an opportunity to provide financial information and services to financially empower our community. Taxpayers are encouraged to open up a savings account, sometimes for the very first time, or a checking account with local banks and credit unions. And we also encourage them to invest a portion of their refund into savings bonds. This past filing season, I had the opportunity to work Taxpayer Experience Day, which is simply designated Saturdays that we are open for taxpayers to walk in, and we provide them with face-to-face service. One of the taxpayers that came in, it was a young lady, and she was responding to a letter that she received regarding her tax refund. The young lady was falsely advised by the person that prepared her taxes to claim a fuel tax credit. Claiming the credit, of course, resulted in an overinflated refund, and as a result, it flagged her return. When she came into the office, the taxpayer advocate explained to her what a fuel tax credit actually was and explained why she was not entitled to the credit. A few minutes later, I saw the young lady standing alone and she's crying. And so in speaking with her, I learned that she had paid hundreds of dollars to have her tax return prepared, but it resulted in receiving wrong information, an inaccurate return, a delay in the refund that she was actually entitled to, and frustration because her plans to catch up on her rent and other expenses and repair her car were now foiled. And so this is just one of many examples of how invaluable VITA service is in our community. We're going to take a closer look at the options for tax preparation services. Next slide, please. So there are 4 filing methods that are available. The traditional VITA provides tax preparation services face-to-face in a designated location. And it's really a great opportunity for students to feel connected in their community, as well as improve their interpersonal skills, especially since we live in such a technology-dependent world. Most of our new partners utilize the traditional VITA method. Facilitated self-assistance, or FSA, is available for taxpayers that are comfortable preparing their own returns, but they also have the benefit of a volunteer that will provide them with assistance as they need it. Next slide. The virtual VITA site prepares returns in a secure virtual environment. It gives the taxpayers the convenience of having their returns prepared without them having to actually visit a site. This method is probably most beneficial for people that live in rural communities. And then lastly, drop-off sites schedule a date and time for taxpayers to drop off their supporting documents. The documents, of course, are safely maintained, and the returns are prepared in the taxpayer's absence. Taxpayers are given a return date and time to pick up their documents and an accurately prepared tax return. Next slide. So why high schools? High schools provide a unique opportunity. There are more than 30,000 high schools in the United States, and you have a chance to serve a diverse population. Incoming students provide a continuous source of volunteers. And here in the state of Michigan, a personal finance course is a requirement for high school graduation. VITA is an excellent way for high schools to fulfill that mandate. Schools are ADA compliant and are equipped to service taxpayers that may require special accommodations. And supportive teachers, administrators, and staff are already in place to provide encouragement and assistance to students. Next slide. As Rosemarie stated, the hard work and commitment of our more than 120 VITA high schools resulted in approximately 14,000 tax returns prepared, more than 13 million in tax credits, and more than 20 million fed back into the community. High school students saved their community more than $2 million in tax preparation fees. Chris from Rancho Cucamonga High School had this to say: the VITA program has provided a critical, practical application of the classroom experience for our accounting students. Students gain lifelong tax knowledge, serve the community, and develop their interpersonal skills. This experience will last a lifetime, and the customers have received excellent attention to detail while saving valuable money. Next slide. In addition to the rewarding feeling that comes with serving their community, your students will experience increased confidence and improved decision-making skills. Their volunteer experience and knowledge of tax law will look great on their resume. It can also satisfy community service hour requirements, as Tracy mentioned earlier. As a recognized community partner, high schools can feel good about bringing financial resources into their community, promoting servant leadership, and the personal development of their students and their staff. Next slide. Now, this is what the infrastructure in your school could look like. A VITA champion, a teacher, or someone from the Career and Technical Education Department can incorporate VITA into their curriculum, or establish a VITA club, which would be an excellent extracurricular activity. Both options comprise of student volunteer recruitment, outreach and marketing, as well as training. Next slide. Site coordinators and training coordinators both play a role in training. VITA site coordinator's role is to review the VITA TCE Volunteer Site Coordinator Handbook and the Privacy, Confidentiality, and Civil Rights publication. They will identify quality site requirements and volunteer standards of conduct. They will establish the roles and responsibilities of the volunteers while following a startup checklist. They will identify the required steps for intake, interview, and quality review process. And as changes and updates become available, they would be responsible for sharing that information with the volunteers. The training coordinator will serve as tax law and tax slayer software instructors. They will help find a computer room that will hold the student volunteers, and they will work with their relationship manager, who will assist them in determining what training materials that they may need. Next slide. Now, I understand that we are at the end of September, but the syllabus example can be adjusted and accelerated to meet your core study needs. So week 1 may entail the introduction to taxes. And then going into week 2, it would cover when employers withhold taxes, understanding the hiring process. Week 3 would be an understanding of the taxes. And then tax preparation will begin in the following weeks. In addition to the syllabus, there is also a wealth of resources that we will make available to you, such as Link and Learn and Tax Layer Practice Labs. Next slide. This is a suggested timeline of events. Our partners start as early as July with planning and recruiting. However, a relationship manager will work closely with you to establish you as a successful VITA partner. Next slide. Here are some examples of how the Career Technical Education team or instructor can market your VITA program. Websites, school and bus banners, robocalls, and social media are all great options. We also have backpack stuffers and stickers that we can provide that will help in building your VITA program as well. Clubs such as Distributive Education Clubs of America and MBA can also be a good resource for building your VITA program. Next slide. Okay, so I hear you thinking, I like what I've heard. What can I do to get involved? Well, let me tell you. You can sponsor a VITA tax preparation site right at your school, promote your students volunteering at a VITA site in your area, You can add a FSA link to your school webpage, advertise free tax assistance in your community to your students, to your staff, to your faculty. Next slide. Here in SPEC, we are committed to providing access to free tax assistance and education to qualified taxpayers, as well as supporting the educational growth of our young adults. The goal of our high school symposium is to expand free tax preparation through high school and college partnerships. Next slide. A solid education combined with tax understanding can serve as the starting point for building a strong financial dream. Give back to your community through free tax preparation and prepare students with career-ready schools. Please help us bring VITA into your community. Next slide. You will receive a follow-up email to gauge your level of interest. However, if you're excited to get started, we welcome you to contact us at the email address which corresponds with your state. We'll leave this slide up for a few minutes to allow time for you to jot down the email address. And I thank you so much for your time and your attention, and I will turn it back over to you, Yolanda.
Thank you so much, Ivy, for that great presentation on the introduction to the VITA program. Now we will move right along to a VITA success presentation, in which I always call a VITA testimony. And now we will hear from Matthew Heatherwick, Chief Program Officer of a County Aid Society. Matthew?
Thank you, Yolanda. And Ivy, thank you so much for that introduction. I work closely with Ivy. She's our SPEC officer, so thank you.
Okay.
As announced, my name is Matt Heatherwick. I'm the Chief Program Officer here at Accounting Aid Society. We're located in Detroit, Michigan. We serve over 20,000 taxpayers with tax returns every year. That's nearly a $40 million impact in tax refunds and credits given back to our community. We serve 5 different counties in Southeast Michigan. Our volunteers come from all walks of life. We have a lot of adult volunteers, professionals, retired individuals. For a long time, we focused on our colleges, community colleges, our universities. In the past 6 or 7 years, we started focusing on our high school partners. We started a pilot program in 2019. We worked with 2 local high schools, which was Martin Luther King Jr. Senior High School and also our Southeastern High School here in the city of Detroit. We went into the schools. We worked with the DPSCD's board. We found a champion. It's something that Ivy mentioned. We found champions in the school, faculty, teachers there that really wanted to see the success of this program. They lifted this up. They found students that were compassionate, that wanted to do this type of work, that wanted to learn. We brought a team in to train. We elevated their skill sets. Then we started inviting taxpayers in. Those taxpayers, some of them were family and friends of the students, and then other members of the local community and the neighborhoods that surrounded the school district. We did a lot of work talking to the students about what this meant to them, because we wanted to know. And one of the big things that I talk a lot about is the volunteer moment. And that is when you realize why we do what we do. Ivy talked about it. This isn't work for us. This is passion. This is taking knowledge that we have and lifting our community up. It's elevating our community, our neighborhoods, those that need our help, those that don't understand the different questions within the IRS tax code. We're here to support that. And we give that knowledge to our high school students so that they can take that home. They can take that to their neighbors. They can share that. Some of the things, the quotes that the students gave us is that talking to different adults really helped me with great communication. This felt like a real job. Another student told us, it's hands-on learning and it will look good on my college applications. It was an opportunity to expand my abilities. And the one thing that I thought was great was this program built my confidence and kept me busy after school hours. And another student said, I learned something that my high school doesn't typically teach me. I also learned how to handle people and learned a skill that I can take with me long term. That's what this is about. We look at it, Accounting and Society, as an opportunity, as a partnership with the schools to pair education, job training, and economic mobility to deliver a powerful curriculum to students that not only benefits the students and their families, but helps them access free tax assistance. It prepares the students for jobs, for college majors, or careers that might be in tax preparation, tax law, accounting, finance, even other skills like social work, among many others. In partnership with volunteers and staff from our agency, we're intending to educate the students in personal income tax preparation, help support the roles such as being greeters and receptionists. Students from each high school always receive the training, IRS certifications during this period. The other part is that they're going to be preparing returns. They're going to be working with the community. And one question that I always get, what if I mess up a tax return? Well, part of the quality review that we have at the with the IRS and the SPEC office is that we look at every tax return. 2 sets of eyes always look at it. So we train the students so that they're capable. With our agency, we'll have a staff member or volunteer there to support them to make sure that they have everything they need to be confident that they've done exactly what's supposed to be done. So that way they can deliver for their community. At the end of the day, we recognize that the participation in this tax preparation program teaches collaboration through working with fellow students to learn and practice skills. The students get to learn critical communication skills like the ability to effectively make their point and back it up with evidence, both verbally and in writing. It also helps them to learn the ability to listen, be empathetic by completing client intakes and interviews. By completing the IRS certification training, the students acquire deep content knowledge of tax regulations and financial literacy. All students acquire and refine critical thinking skills as they analyze taxpayer intake information and use their content knowledge to prepare accurate tax returns. This allows the students to gain confidence in their technical and interpersonal skills as they put new knowledge into practice and successfully provide valuable service to their community. And with that said, I will hand it back to Yolanda.
Thank you so much, Matthew, for providing us a testimony of what your VITA program is doing in your organization and how it is working with high schools. Now we will hear another VITA success presentation from Michael DeVault. He is a good friend. He is a teacher and a site coordinator and has been for a very long time at the Osborne High School in Marietta, Georgia, here in Atlanta. Michael?
Hey, hope everybody can hear me okay. I'm actually, don't tell my principal, I'm playing hooky and I'm at a Braves game. And thankfully the ushers found me a quiet room to come in and meet with you guys. But yes, I have been teaching quite a while, over 26, 7 years. And during that time, I've worked with VITA for, I think 22 was last year. I'm at Osborne High School, and it's a Title I school in Cobb County, Georgia, just a little bit west of downtown Atlanta. We have an enrollment of around 2,800 students. How I got started in this is I recognized that there were a lot of students that were working part-time and either were not filing their tax return or paying somebody to file it for them. And so started a program to kind of help those students with it, and then got involved with VITA. Our course is offered only in the spring semester. I realize that some classes and some schools may run it fall and spring, but we usually identify our juniors and seniors, mainly seniors, during the fall semester and put a class together. And we begin in January for the spring semester. We start them out in tax law and then just overall center operations. We do all of that during January. They complete their trainings and their certifications. And then we open up in usually the first week of February, kind of with a soft opening. For years, our center was clients come in, sit down, students work with them on the returns, and we finished everything right then and there. After COVID and after some changes to our school campus, we've kind of gone pretty much to a drop-off site only, which kind of gives us two separate scenarios and not really kind of roles for our students. Our drop-off site, we operate in our back parking lot, kind of under a covered awning walkway along the curb. And clients just pull up in their cars. They don't get out of their cars. They just stay in the cars and hand us the information and fill out the necessary paperwork for us. And then we take that information inside, and we have our room full of preppers, and they're in there with another staff member who's actually my co-coordinator, Ms. Hunt, who's also my wife. And so we unfortunately talk about taxes quite a bit at school and at home. She works with the students on prepping the returns. And so that's kind of how we run it. We run it straight up until April 15th. We operate on an appointment only basis. Our clients will reach out to us, and we give them a link to sign up using a Sign Up Genius. We communicate via Google Voice account and a Gmail account. So they have a time and a place, time to come up and see us and drop off their information. And then once everything's complete, we reach out to them, and they can either sign online. We get a subscription every year for a DocuSign program that they can sign online, and we send the documents that way, or they come back up to the school and pick up their information. As the previous, as Matt kind of mentioned, what he said is what they've been said as far as student testimonials. My students say the same thing every year. This is one of the best classes I ever had. This is one of the best experiences I've had in high school. Now, how many have gone on to become to work in that field? I have a few. I've had a couple of students reach out to me that I worked with 15 years ago. They connected with them through LinkedIn this summer, and the first thing they mentioned was how much fun they had working in our tax center. So that's the pros. Just the growth that I see with my kids, them enjoying giving back to the community and doing something that is very, very unique in a high school setting. The cons for our program, the biggest one is the weather, because we're running our center in February and March. And in Georgia, that can be 75 and sunny, or it can be 43 and rainy. We've kind of taken some steps the past couple of years to make it a little easier on our students. Actually, we purchased an ice fishing tent last year that we can kind of pop up, and students can take the documents in the tent and stay warm and dry and away from the wind. One of the other the cons is probably is the reviews, because I end up doing pretty much all the reviews. We very rarely have a student get comfortable, or that we feel comfortable with doing the reviews for us. So all of the reviews, I've got 15 returns that can be prepped in a day, but I have to review them all. So that's kind of a big a negative for me. And then it's just kind of the communication piece. Sometimes keeping up with all of our phone calls, with all of our text messages, or with all of our emails, communicating with the clients. If they forgot to give us something, or we have to reach out to them with a question, it can kind of take a little bit of time to kind of to get everything finalized. But I will say it has been an extremely rewarding experience for myself. I initially worked in banking out of college. I wanted to be an accountant when I was in high school. And now I kind of feel like I have the best of both worlds. I get to teach that. I get to work with young people. And I get to meet members of the community through this program. So for all of those, if we have school administrators, you will have to find a champion in the building that is willing to take this responsibility on, because it's a lot of work. it's something, again, I've enjoyed doing and will continue doing until I retire. Which is not too far away. My clients ask me every year, how much longer are you going to be doing it? And so I'm already kind of eyeballing. I've got another teacher in mind that hopefully will be my successor with the program. So thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share with you guys today. I apologize for any of the background noise and my appearance since I'm in a t-shirt. But I really appreciate the opportunity to speak to you guys today. If there's any questions for me, if someone could, maybe Yolanda or somebody could share my email account in the chat. If anybody has any questions, you want to follow up by shooting me an email, I'd be glad to discuss. But if it's okay, I'm going to sign off and go see what's going on with the Braves game.
All right.
Go Braves.
Thank you so much,
go Braves.
Michael.
Go Braves. Make them win.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a good day.
Very good to see you.
All right. Bye-bye.
We've had 2 great VITA success stories, and I hope that each school district on the webinar today got something out of these VITA success stories, something that will encourage you to get involved, and participate in the VITA program. We are so excited about the opportunity that this webinar and these testimonies and everyone that spoke. We're so fortunate and we're so happy about the opportunity that this is going to give to each school district that's represented. And so now, fun time, Q&A, questions and answer session. I'm going to turn it over to Cynthia Smith.
Thank you, Yolanda. Yolanda, we have Stanette on the phone. We have Dustin also on the webinar, and I believe they can be unmuted. I've been checking to see if I saw any questions in the chat box, and I don't see any. But the audience can now put their question in the chat box, or they might be able to come off mute and ask the specific question. And if we can't answer it, then we will jot your name down and get back to you. So with that said, are there any questions about our VITA program? Oh,
Hi,
here goes
Cynthia.
one.
There are a few questions, and I'll just add them to the chat for you.
Okay. One of the questions I see is the VITA program only for high school students? Stanette, would you like to take that one?
Sure. I was getting ready to say, I'll come off mute and answer that question. No, the VITA program is not only for high school students. We have several adults who participate. We have colleges who participate in the program as well. And just so you know, VITA has been around for over 50 years. So it's been around for a while.
Okay. And we also cater to the elderly. We cater to different demographics. So if you're interested in not only high school, but other opportunities, please feel free to let us know, put it in the chat, and we'll get to you. The second question we have is, I am glad to see this information. However, I would like to know about the program for community college. Currently, I work at a community college with a lot of students who will be grateful to join. And guess what? We will be grateful for them to join. We focused on high school right now, but we do have more opportunities for colleges. Dustin, would you like to come off mute and talk about that?
Sure. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. So yeah, community colleges, great opportunity for, the students to get involved. Really the community college just needs to reach out to myself or our growth relationship manager, Wendy Minifield. We will love to talk to you about the program. I'm not sure if we share everybody's information on this to directly email us, but I'll make sure in the chat that I share my email address to you. And so if you reach out to me, We will have that conversation with myself and Wendy Minifield, be able to answer any questions, walk you through the process. And, the first step really is to sign the sponsor agreement, the 13533, when you're, definitely want to join the program, and that will get everything started. So, hopefully that answered all of the questions as far as how to get started with the program. And then, yeah, with the students, they just need, if they want to volunteer, they can just go to our www.irs.gov website and sign up to volunteer, or you could email me personally with the names of the individuals that are interested in the program.
Thank you, Dustin. We also have a question, and it's from Jonathan Morrison. Jonathan, I'm excited to see this question. You want to know, how do you register? How do you register your school? Well, I've got your name and you're in the chat, so we will have one of our growth managers reach out to you. One of their relationship managers will reach out to you to get you the information. It's very easy to do, and we have centers throughout the United States. So we have different managers that are responsible. We just happen to have two of our great ones that are available for this particular webinar. We have Stanette and Dustin, who are also taking notes. So Jonathan Morrison, I don't know what state you're in. You could put it in here and we can get someone in contact with you by tomorrow. We have another question. Hope that helped you, Jonathan.
And
There is
actually,
an IRS.
if I may interrupt before we get to that next question, could we put the slide back up that had the contact information across the country? That would be helpful. Thank you.
That's the last slide, I believe. Okay, so while we're moving to that slide, the question is, there's an IRS center in my area. How can I find out if this program is available to my area's high school? Well, you've got the list in front of you. And if you're not in one of these states that we've got here, you can still reach out to myself or to one of the managers, and we will get someone to get in contact with you. Because as we said, we want the program nationwide.
All 50 states, including Puerto Rico, is represented on the slide.
Thank you. Exciting. Here's a question for someone. Are the students preparing taxes for adults, other students, or everyone? That's Tamara, president.
So is that a question for the programs that those who spoke at the programs? Let me just answer it this way. Students can prepare if they join the program, they can prepare the tax return for whatever customers come in. It could be other students, it could be teachers, it could be the community at large, it could be their family members. So I believe that should answer the question.
This is a great program. Thanks for sharing this information with a 0.3% national adoption rate for the program. What are plans to get more schools involved?
Well, I can make a comment on that one, because one of the things that we do is we're reaching out to high schools, and we knock on doors, we send emails, we give presentations similar to the one that you saw right here. There's not a lot of us, so we are trying to get the schools to try to get the webinars or the symposiums to get the schools to see this presentation. And sometimes it's a word of mouth situation. Like if you know a school that might be interested, give us the information. We'll definitely and love to reach out to those schools. So that's our plan, to get the word out as much as we can. Dustin, do you want to add anything to that?
No, I mean, you're exactly right. We do outreaches to the high school. We try to use different types of media, but, one of the best things that, you can do in the audience is, if you know people that work in some of these other high schools or any school, Yeah, just give them our contact information. We would love to talk to them. I put my personal work email in the chat, so you're welcome to share my information with them. And yeah, we would love to have a talk with them.
All right, so here goes one. I'm a tax company owner, but I want to be able to assist with the VITA program. We need this badly in our community. That comes from Ebony Brown. What do you say to that?
We do have tax professionals who participate in VITA. The key here, though, is that the VITA services are free. So if you want to participate and you have a business, as long as we're keeping everything separate, email addresses that are indicated that corresponds to the state, reach out to us.
You hear that, Ebony? Come on and join us.
Come on and join us. Yes.
If Michael DeVault was on the phone, he'd tell you, come help him with the quality review. Okay, I have another question. Are there any community partnerships with other nonprofit organizations such as Girl Scouts USA? Would it be possible to organize and train a team of volunteers outside of high school or colleges? And this is from Tasha Vanterpool. I can answer that, but I'm gonna let you, Stinette.
Okay, I was going to see if I didn't want to take over everything. Yes, we have partnerships with nonprofit organizations. We have partnerships with educational institutions. We have partnerships with government entities. We have partnerships. So yes, if you're interested, we have partnerships with United Way and what is it, Goodwill, all kinds of organizations we partner with. So if you're interested, you know of an organization, you can reach out to us. Email address is listed with the, corresponding state, by all means.
Especially the Girl Scouts, because that's one of the things that they
Would
like
love,
to do.
yes.
So if you've got a Girl Scout troop and they're mostly seniors and juniors, I would say, please have them. Now you've got the little girls and you want them to come and pass out water or help us greet, we could work you into the program. We've got all kinds of positions that we might be able to qualify some of the younger people in. We try not to turn anyone down.
Absolutely. Boys and Girls Clubs as well. I know I used to have a partnership with the Boys and Girls Club as well. So yes.
Okay. I don't see any more questions.
I will say, Cynthia, Ms. Smith, we have several more questions in the chat, but recognizing that we are at time, we're going to save those questions. What we can commit to doing is coming back and providing this information. I will share that this session is a part of our ongoing support of financial education, something that is core to the policy goals of the White House Initiative for Black Americans. So we will say that there is more to come. We have your email addresses by way of the registration links. We will be sending out follow-up information to you. We thank our friends, our partners, collaborators at the IRS and the US Department of Treasury for being a part of this Lunch and Learn. We thank you and we wish you a good afternoon. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
Bye, everyone.
Alexis?
Yes.
Hey, would you like to do a debrief later, schedule a follow-up meeting with them?
Absolutely. Yeah, let's definitely do that. I think we might still be live, so why don't we just go ahead and jump? But yes, let's schedule a follow-up.
Okay, perfect.
Great work. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.